So, layers. Most image editing softwares or programs use layers somehow. I'll be showing off Photoshop, but the same applies for Procreate, Illustrator, Substance Painter, etc. Subscribe to the ArtForge Academy newsletter in order to receive exclusive discounts for our video courses. When we open Photoshop or most programs, we find an empty white rectangle or a complicated menu of sizes most of us don't really get. For now, I'll just choose one of the presets. We are faced with this blank area, sometimes called a canvas, and somewhere around the screen we will see the layer window. I like this oldie example to show what layers are. Imagine you have a couple of sheets placed one on top of the other, but they're all transparent to begin with, and you can place different things on each one. Back in Disney times, they used literal layers of different paintings on glass or plastic sheets to give the illusion of depth. They could be moved separately, and it blew everyone's mind at the time. Something similar is going on here. Let me explain. There is usually a background layer, which we will paint gray with the bucket tool for this example. On top of it, we can create as many layers as our computer allows before exploding. This matters because usually what's closer to the top is going to cover what's on the bottom. We can also group layers into folders to tidy up and make things easier to remember. Also, naming layers is useful. Just double-click the layer name and write the name you prefer. We can delete layers if we don't want them anymore by pressing the trash can. But to hide a layer, we can do so by clicking the eye to the left. This will come in handy soon. Now, to show you how to use layers in a digital art process, let's start with a new file. I will create a layer to sketch out a character standing on a simple floor, and he has a friend. I will color them and add shadows and lights. Let's go! I drew the first character and I feel great with this part, but I'm not so sure about his friend, so I'll make a new layer and give myself options to hide or show any given layer. I really like this one. I'll keep drawing for a bit and show you. So, we have lines defined and now I want them to be in a single layer. We can select them, right-click and merge layers. Now I want to add color, but coloring in front trying to respect the line would take forever. So maybe I can paint underneath? But there's a bit of a problem. The layer has a white background and it's merged with my line art. This is a great chance to talk about blending modes. These are ways that each individual layer, or tool sometimes, interacts with all layers underneath it. The default is normal, which makes everything look just like you'd expect. The color you add is the color you get. Other blending modes will behave differently. I'm going to paint these background colors and hide them behind the line art layer. While selecting this layer, I'm going to switch it to multiply. What is this magic? Well, changing it to multiply is a way to tell the layer to use dark colors to darken what's underneath and ignore things that would make them go brighter. What's black will show black and what's white becomes transparent. We'll use it again to add shadows in a bit. Now that we have this layer only showing the line art, we can add colors to the layer beneath it. I'm happy with these colors, but they look a bit flat. Let's add some shadows to describe volume better. I create a new layer on top of the color layer and set it to multiply. I'm gonna pick a blue color in this case and paint with it. We can see that the color makes the colors underneath darker, and also affected by the blue. Useful. But I believe it's a bit too dark. I could choose a different color, or I could change the opacity of the layer. On the upper right corner in Photoshop, there's a box called opacity, 100%. If I set it to 0%, the layer is going to be invisible, and everything in between is valid. So I'll set it to, let's say, 50%? Just as there's multiply, there are other blending modes, and I urge you to try them all. We could go down the math rabbit hole of these things, but we won't today. Just pick one that looks good. As a general notion, this section darkens stuff, this section brightens stuff, this section plays with contrast, so it can make them darker and or brighter. This section is weird, and this one splits color into its basic characteristics. For the lights, I'm going to use screen or maybe color dodge. In this case, I think color dodge did the trick. You'll find that these are all useful, and knowing how they work is cool but not necessary. Just try them once in a while, hovering over them and picking what you like. And play with the opacity to control the effect. And that's basically it. Layers and blending modes are very common. And even if they have different names, I bet they do similar things. Try them all out and enjoy a bit of chaos. You might even find solutions you weren't thinking about. In the next video, we'll explore different ways of sketching and different tools we use to draw, erase, and smudge, and also a way to get clean lines even without a tablet.